To examine this tree and this tree. But first, you'll see the signature swirl right here. The unburn, burn, unburn pattern. This is all typical stuff to anyone that knows what these plasma fires are about, but this is a good example because look how hollowed out it is in there. And that's how deep it is, about 2 feet. And over here, I'll give you an example of how wide across this is, but it's burnt on the inside, unburnt on the outside. And you can see the stump over here where it was actually in the ground. Look how thick that wood is. And the diameter here is about 2.5 feet that way, maybe 3 foot that way and 2 foot this way. But again, it's just the same old stuff, and you can see someone's come along and cut this. You can see the cut marks right here and right here where they cut down this log that they can see burned out from the inside. Ought to take me a piece just like this here. That's the outer bark. That's the inner wood. That's how thick the wood is. Another piece here. So why don't you hear about this on the news? Because whoever was here from the Park Service that cut this tree, just like the people who replaced the boards on the laser bridge, know that it's burning from the inside out. And that between here and there, I won't try and get you an exact measurement, but you can see how big this tree is. This diameter is about 24 inches. And it is perfectly hollowed out. All the way around, unburnt on the outside, the inside completely vaporized. And this is a pretty big chunk. Vaporized, unvaporized. The lighting's kind of weird right now because it's dusk, but I think you get the point. This sucker is 3 feet at least. Here's a good example of what happens burned on the inside, unburned in the middle or the outside. And I wish I had a tape measure. I'm gonna go grab my tape measure. Here we go. That's the 3 foot mark. And that's a pretty accurate measurement. There's a little bit of a dip where this is actually a branch going out that way. But that's an accurate reading. That is 3 foot round of wood completely vaporized in the middle. Completely untouched right here. And over here, show you the classic plasma fire swirl. See the swirl here? How it swirls under on this part from down here. And it swirls up and around in corkscrews. Corkscrews right here. So that's a lot of really dense wood. The amount of heat and energy that it took to vaporize the inside. We're gonna go get a measurement of the stump over here. But yeah, there you go. That's a lot of core wood disappeared. And the amount of electricity it would take to do this, you could not generate that with a hydroelectric power plant. Maybe You could, but it would take, I'm just saying, that is super high amounts of energy. And here's the base, the stump of the tree. That's the 3 foot mark right there. Right here's maybe 2.5 feet, but then you have this extra piece that is part of the same piece that burned out the inside. This was all connected, that's why it's burnt here as well as there, but not here. Because the same energy that burned here is the same energy that burned everything in there. So where's all those climatologists talking about global warming, save the planet, pay your carbon taxes? Just like the chemtrails, this will not make its way into the conversation because they have no solution they can provide and charge you for. So get Jesus. Get you some Jesus. There's a reason you're not hearing about this on the nightly news, and it's not because no one knows. Look at this, I'm gonna hop up here on top of this and look down in. Because you can see this is the one that's all hollowed out up through the middle. And I'm gonna hop up on here, see if I can be nimble enough. That's 1.5 feet from there to my elbow, between there and there. 18-inch diameter. What burns a tree from the inside out? That's 3 foot diameter, radius? Yeah, diameter. Huge amounts of electricity. That's the only thing that burns that much wood on the inside and leaves the outside untouched. You see the sporadic burn pattern here? That's where some of the electricity reached the surface. I don't know if this is getting me or not. Whoa, you might even be able to watch me take a spill. That's the 3 foot mark right there. Right there. So it's actually got a little bit beyond 3 foot if you count from that side of the stump to this side, which just was a knot, a part of the stump. And that tree over there. Let's go check it out real quick before we go. May I draw your attention to all the unburnt leaves on this tree? It burned from the inside out with huge amounts of heat and electricity and energy, but look at all the unburned leaves all around. These weeds, these didn't burn last year. Or whenever this tree burned, the leaves and the weeds. See this branch? See how burnt it is on the inside where it broke off? Completely unburnt on the outside. That's how them small hats do ya. Small hats do ya. Small hats do ya. So, this one burnt a little different. It's not going to be as easy to get all the footage I was, but you can see the same burn pattern here. I'll find you a good spot. This one burned a little bit different, but it's definitely, you can tell from this right here, the same electrical burn. Some more telltale signs would be this right here, how it's burnt at the base, burnt here, all the same patterns. Highly burnt here, totally unburnt there. Unburnt leaves and weeds all around. These leaves on the end of the branches, all these leaves, if this was real fire, they wouldn't be there. but it's not real fire. The lighting's getting too dim for me to show you much more. Well, look at this. See how this one's all burned on the inside? Focus, there we go. It's completely burned and hollowed out on the inside. And that's part of a great big log that goes clear back here. This is part of the same log back there. Yeah. See, pretty big piece. You can see how it's burned on the inside of this large